श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday he said nainam chindante shastrani etc. So this self cannot be cut by the weapons, it cannot be made wet by the water, it cannot be burned down by fire, it cannot be dried by air. Then for that he started giving reason, because it is eternal, it is all pervading, it is a changeless etc. So that hetu is explained. There he said Chedyadi anarhatve hetumaha uttarardhena. Why it cannot be cut etc. is explained with the second stanza of this 24th shloka. Nityoyam purva. Because it is eternal. Eternal. Nitya means eternal. Why? Because it does not have the stages of previous and later, before and after, cause and effect. Therefore, it is eternal. And that which is not all pervading cannot be eternal. So this is all pervading. But how do you say if it is not all pervading it cannot be eternal? That is not true, because atom is not all pervading but it is eternal. If you try to bring this logic, we say we don't accept this atom to be existent or all pervading, eternal. So there is no point in discussing about something which we don't accept. Next he says, okay, that which is all pervading, because it is all pervading, it is eternal. Because of this establishing that it is all pervading and it is eternal, we have established something else also. What is established? That it is something which cannot be gained, attained. The self is not something to be attained. It is ever present here and now. We need not go from here to somewhere, or we need not wait for some period time. Now and here we have the self, because it is all pervading. If it is all pervading, it should be here. Since it is eternal, it should be now. Both. If it is though all pervading, still now at this point of time it is not here. You cannot say that, but still. So there is no logic. It is all pervading and it is eternal. Therefore it is here and now. You need not achieve it, attain it. Fine. Yadi cha ayam vikari syatara sarvagato nyasyat. If it undergoes some transformation, then it cannot be something which is all pervading. How do you say that? I am the sthanu avikari, because this is sthanu. Sthanu means it does not undergo any transformation. Atha sarvagata eva. Therefore it is all pervading. Ete navikaryatam apakritam. With this, the self is not something which undergoes transformation, is negated. Vikari, vikarya. Vikari means transformation in itself. Movement. Vikari means movement, change. Transformation. Vikarya means transformation. It changes into something else. Change, movement happening in itself, and change taking place completely of it. This is the difference. Like, let us see. We have milk. Milk turns into curd. That is vikarya. Milk turning into curd. Or clay transforming into pot. That is vikarya. Now here the like a mirror, mirror does not transform into anything, but the dust particles settle on the mirror. Therefore there is some change in the mirror. It is not reflecting things properly. So this change inside within it is vikari. The change of it is vikarya. Change in it is vikari. Change of it is vikarya. This is the difference in it and of it. So he says, okay, I am to achalaha, ado avikari. This is achalaha, this is transformationless, this is movementless. Therefore it is not something which in which the change can take place. Etena samskaryatvam niraktam. With this, samskaryatva is negated. The self is not something which can be purified. So, that is a negated. So, vikari means something with the change in it. Since the self, there is no change in the self, it cannot be purified. Only when there is change, like the dust particle in the mirror, you need to clean the mirror surface. There is a change. Here the self does not undergo any change in it. Therefore, there can be no purification. Purvavastha parityagena avasthandra apatti vikriya. Vikriya means transformation. Transformation means leaving the previous state and gaining another new state. Like clay leaves its previous state and becomes transformed into pot, gaining a new state, new name. Therefore, he says that is vikriya. Avastha aikyapi chalana matram kriyeti shesha. Though it does not undergo any transformation, but there is a change in itself, that is called as a vikriya, vikari. So this is the difference between vikriya and vikari. Vikriya, it completely transforms into something. Vikari transforms in itself. He will give an example, better example also of ghee and of ghee. Yasmad evam dasmad sanatanoyam sarvada ekarupa nakasyapi kriyayaha karma ityartha. Since it is so, therefore this is always of one form. Sanatana means this is always of one form, changeless form, one non-dual form. Meaning it does not become the object of any action. It does not become an object of any action. What does object of any action means? What does action? First we have to understand that. For that he says there are 4 types of activity possible. Utpatti, apti, vikarya, samskriti, anyatara kriya, phala, yogehi, karmattam syat. There are 4 types of activities. One is utpatti, the second one is apti, third one is vikriti, fourth one is samskriti. Utpatti, creation. From clay, you make pot. Apti, attaining. You don't have something, you go to some place to gain it. Third is vikriti, transformation of one state into another state. And fourth is samskriti, purificatory act. So, when these 4 kind of action takes place, it becomes an object of that action. Now, self is not an effect of any of these actions. Self is not associated with any of these actions. Therefore, it cannot be object of these actions. But what is this utpatti apti? I will give you example and explain. I am to nityatvat nautpadya. Since this self is eternal, nitya, sarvagataha, sthano, achalaha, all these 4 is explained from a different perspective of the 4 types of action. Self is eternal, therefore it is not utpadya. Anityasya eva ghatadeha utpadyatvat, because something which is non-eternal, something which is eternal cannot be created. Something which is non-eternal like pot, etc. can be created. So, utpadya. Second, prapya. Sarvagatatvat na prapya. Since it is all pervading, I cannot gain it, attain it. What is prapya? Parichinnasena payadehe prapyatvat. Only milk, etc., which we don't have, we go to shop and buy it. Because it is limited. Whatever is limited can be gained. So, whatever is limited can be attained. That which is all pervading cannot be gained or attained. Okay. Third, sthanutvad avikarya. Vikriyavato ghridadehe eva vikaritvad. So, since it is changeless, it does not undergo any change. There is no change in itself. Only clarified butter, ghee, undergoes change. Ghee does not become something else. Ghee remains as ghee, but when in winter it thickens, it solidifies, and when in summer it melts. So, with in the association with cold, it solidifies. In association with heat, it becomes a molten. It attains molten state. Now, whether it is molten ghee or it is a solid ghee, it is ghee. So he says, na vikarya. There is no transformation also. Now, achalatvat asamskarya. Since it is achala, one non-dual, there is no purificatory act also. Only something which has parts can be purified. This has no parts, therefore there can be no purification. Sakriya seva darshanadehe samskaryatvat. Only that which has activity in it, parts in it, limbs in it, can be purified. This has no parts or action, therefore it cannot be purified. Tathāca Shruteha. Shruti also explains the same thing. What does the Shruti say? Akashat sarvagatascha. Like space, this self is all pervading and eternal. This is an example. We should not extend the example. Example is to teach you from the knowledge you have. You understand the space to be eternal. You understand the space to be all pervading. Therefore, we give an example. Otherwise, self is nothing like Akasha, because Akasha is an effect. Atmana Akasha Sambhuta, from Atma, in the association with the inner ignorance, space comes into existence. Ether comes into existence. Now, if there is the self is not an effect, how can it be same as Atma, same as ether? Just for example, from the knowledge we have. Today, if somebody is going to explain Atma, they will say it can be experienced but not seen like current. We will not be asking question, will it produce shock if we touch? If we experience? No, that is a stupid question. That is only a part of example, it should not be extended. So, Akashavatne Vrishaiva stabdho dividishtatyekaha. Dividishtatyeka sneram purushena purusham sarvam etc. Vrishta iva stabdha divi tishtati ekaha. Vrishaiva, like a tree, this is stunted, this does not move. Divi, this self-effulgent tishtati, stays. This stays as self-effulgent. How many? Ekaha. This one non-dual self stays as self-effulgent, like the tree which is without movement. Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam, Niravadyam, Niranjanam, ityadi. So, Nishkalam means without kala, without kalanka, without impurity, without change. That which has parts, transform, change. Since the self does not have any parts, it does not undergo any change. Then Nishkriyam, it is devoid of action also. Since it does not have parts, again same thing. Shantam, since there is no change, it is a tranquil, it is peace. Ityadaya. Now, yaha prithvyam tishtan prithvyantro yo apsutishtan adyo antaro yaha Tejasi tishtan tejo antaraha yo vayo tishtan vayo antaraha ityadya shrutaya. The Shruti also says, what does Shruti say? That which resides in the earth, and it is the indweller of the earth, which resides in the fire, and is the indweller of the fire, which resides in the water, and the indweller of water, which resides in the air, and the indweller of the air. With this, the self is established as indweller, means it is that which controls the fire, water, earth, etc. It's the controller of. There, in the same Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, later it says, Yaf Prithivyam Tishtan Prithivyo Antro Yamayati, Yo Prithivina Veda, Yam Prithvi Veda, like that it says. Meaning that which stays in the earth and controls the earth, which the earth cannot understand, but which understands the earth. In this way, very clearly says, the earth is not able to understand the self because it is inert, but the self is the one which gives it existence, therefore it understands. I know whom I am giving existence to. For that, we gave an example of the ghost. The ghost knows which body it has entered and what is the capability of that body. But that person in that body does not understand which ghost has entered his body. So, here also, with respect to that, we can say, Iti Shruti, this Shruti says, Sarvagatasya Sarvantaryamitaya Tat Avishetam Darshati. Since the self is all pervading and it is the indweller of everyone, it cannot be objectified by any of this earth, etc. Yohi Shastradau Natishtati Tam Shastra. Wait. What was my question? My question was, regarding why the self cannot be cut by weapon. Simple question. I asked a simple question and you are veering out of the discussion. You are moving not diagonally in the opposite direction, tangentially, without any association with whatever we are talking about. So he says, no. We are coming to that point only. Yo hi shastrado na tishtati. Like this earth does not understand the self. Similarly, that which does not exist in the weapon, only them the weapon can cut. Weapon, sword is different from apple. With sword I can cut the apple, or the apple can be cut by sword from whichever angle you are seeing. If you are taking the side of sword, sword cuts the apple. If you are taking the side of apple, apple is cut by sword. Whichever way. But one thing is very clear. Sword is not apple and apple is not sword. This is very clear. That is why sword is able to cut the apple. Sword cannot cut itself. How do you say? If it is a lengthy sword and a sword which can bend in different directions, I can cut the sword with itself. Then both the parts will become sword and not something else. So he says, that is why he says, Yo shastrado na tishtati tam shastradayas chindanti. Only that which does not exist in the sword, etc., only those things the sword, etc., can cut. The knife, etc., can cut. The knife cannot cut itself. Ayam tu shastradinam satta spurti pradatvena tat prerakatvad antaryami. Tad antaryami. Why? We cannot cut the sword with itself. We cannot cut the sword with itself. We cannot cut the self with the sword. Why? Because the self is which is giving the sword or knife its existence and experience. I say sword exists or knife exists. I say I experience the sword. That experiencership and the existenceness both are given by the self. Because self is the indweller in the sword too. So the knife or sword cannot cut the self. Atah katham enam shastradinam svavyapara vishayikuryar ityabhipraya. How can, therefore, since it is the indweller, it is that which is giving it the existence, how can this knife or sword cut the one which gives it the existence? That is impossible. Atra yena surya tapati tesa idha ityadi shruteyo ansandeya. You have to remember the shruti, you have to reflect upon the shruti, that which gives the sun its fire quality. That which gives the sun its quality of burning cannot be burnt. This is the logic. That which is giving the sun the quality of burning cannot be burnt. The self is the one which gives the quality of burning to the sun. Means it should have to be more than that sun's burning. So that cannot be burnt by the sun. If therefore Saptamadhyayecha. Now, okay, it's very interesting. Okay, continue. Now he says, Saptamadhyayecha prakati karishyati Shri Bhagavan iti dik. This idea will be explained in detail in 7th chapter by Bhagavan himself. This is the way to understand. So, this is enough here. Okay, fine. Chedyatwadi grahaka prana bhavadapi tadbhavaityah. This is not why we are saying that the self cannot be cut. Because there is another proof also. There is no proof that the self can be cut by sword, etc. Because there is no proof, again we can say the self cannot be cut. Avyaktoayam ityadi adhyena. With this avyaktoayam, etc., this first portion, that absence of any pramana, absence of any means of right knowledge, that the self can be cut is established. Avyaktoyam chintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmad evam viditvenam na anushochitam arhasi. अव्यक्तः अयम् अचिन्त्यः अयम् अविकार्यः अयम् उच्यते तस्मात् एवं विदित्वा एनं न अनुशोचतिम् अर्हसि. He says avyakta. Vyakta means manifest, avyakta means unmanifest. The self is unmanifest. Avyakto ayam, the self is unmanifest. Achintyo ayam, since it is unmanifest, it cannot be meditated upon. It cannot be thought about. Avikarya, it does not undergo any transformation. Vikari, it is not vikari, it does not undergo any transformation, it is changeless. This is how the people who know about the self, they say. Tasmad enam evam viditva. Therefore, knowing this self to be so, na anushochitum arhasi. There is no reason for you to worry. Arhasi, you is with no respect. Like if it is arhati, then it will become thou. That is the only way to explain. Otherwise, in English, you, both are you. Now, it is if you say si, then it is you. If you say ti, arhati, if you say ti, then thou. That is the difference here. Okay. Yohi indriya gocharaha bhavati sa pratyakshatvad vyakta iti uchate. What is vyakta? Manifest. What does manifest means? He says that which is an object of sense organ perception is called as manifest. Ayam tu rupadhinatvat natata. Since the self is devoid of any attributes, devoid of form, etc., it cannot be perceived through sense organs. Therefore, ataha na pratyaksham. Therefore, it cannot be perceived. Tanna chedyatwadi grahakam ityartha. Therefore, tatra chedyatwadi grahakam na ityartha. Therefore, it cannot be grasped, you cannot use the chedyatva etc. to be cut. The self can be cut etc. With this pramana ataha na pratyaksham, you cannot perceive it. That is the idea. There can be no pratyaksha possible of it being cut etc. because it does not have form. That is the idea. Pratyaksha bhave api anumanam syaditita. Okay, let there be no perception. Direct perception, no problem. We can infer. Even for things which we don't see, we do infer. I have not seen some planet outside of this earth, but I do infer. There should be some planet, there is sun, there is something revolving around it. I infer. So similarly, I can infer. So he says, achintyo ayam, you cannot infer. Chintya means it's not just thinking, it is inference. Thinking, inference includes thinking. Therefore, you cannot infer. Tad vilakshanoyam, it is different. Anumeyas tad vilakshanoyam. This is different from the knowledge of inference. The inference is the means, and the anumeya is knowledge. Anumiti is knowledge, meaning it is not an object of inference. So, kochit pratyaksho hi vanyadi grihita vyaptikasya dhumadehe darshanad kochit anumeya bhavati. See, I infer. Where do I infer? Only when I see something, when I perceive something, and I continuously see and see a concomitance in it. I see fire, and after regularly perceiving the fire, I find the concomitance that wherever there is fire, there is smoke. No, I don't see that kind of concomitance. I see the concomitance wherever there is smoke, there is fire, because wherever there is fire, there need not be smoke. Like you don't see smoke in the gas, or you don't see smoke in the iron ball, red hot iron ball. So, wherever there is smoke, but wherever there is smoke, there is definitely fire. That is for sure. So, I gain this concomitance, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. And after some time, when I see smoke somewhere, I understand because of this concomitance, there is fire underneath. I infer the fire through the smoke. Pudhumadehe darshanad kochit animeyo bhavati. The fire becomes inferred. Though I don't perceive the fire, I infer the existence of fire beneath. Apratyakshyetu vyapti grahana asambhavat na anumeyatvam iti bhava. But here, since I have not perceived anything with reference to the self, since the self does not have any attribute, I cannot perceive anything with reference to the self. In connection with the self, there can be no concomitance possible. Since there can be no concomitance, there can be no inference. Inference is dependent upon concomitance. So, only when the Vyapti Jnana is there, you can have a inference, Anumana. Otherwise, there can be no Anumana. So, he says, Pratyakshasya api indriyadehe. Fine. Don't say this. Only if you see, you will be able to infer. I have inferred things which I have not seen anywhere. Please tell me, where have you seen? Indriyadehe. I know eyes. I have eyes. But I have not seen the eyes. No one can see the eyes. What do you say? I see this eye. This is not eye. This is just an object. This is just an object. This is not the eye. Because many people have this object. Many people have this object of eye, which is called as eye. Or many people have this object which is called as ear, but they will not be able to see or hear. There is no sense organ in it. The sense organ which I say as eye cannot be seen. How can I see the sense organ through that sense organ itself? Impossible. So, sense organ is atindriya, beyond the grasp of sense organs. But still, I know I have eye. How? That is why he says, Samanito drishta anumana vishayatvam. Samanito drishta anumana. There is three anumana, and first is Samanito drishta anumana. So, meaning, there is this Kari Lingaka Anumana, they say. There is this Kari Lingana. I see the effect, I see, because of the effect, I see the cause. Since I am able to see things clearly, I understand I have eyes. If I am not able to see things clearly, I infer my eyesight is not proper. If I am not able to see things completely, then I say I don't have eyes. I understand I have the sense organ of seeing, not seeing, not able to see, etc. So, he says, Samanya drishta anumana vishayatam drishyate. So, therefore, I don't have to depend upon pratyaksha always. Even through inference, I can establish things. If you say, he says, avikaryoyam. That's not possible here. Why? It is avikarya. Avikarya means, yad kriyavat, yad vikriyavat chakshuradikam, tad swakarya anyathanuvatya kalpyamanam arthavatehe samanya drishta anumanasya cha vishaya bhavati. That which has action in it. Eye sees. There is an action endowed with eyes. That which has action endowed, associated with it, can be inferred or postulated. But that which does not have any association with action, there you cannot apply your postulation or inference. There are two methods to understand. One is postulation, arthapatti. The other is inference. Why he is bringing in both? There are some people who don't accept postulation. Vedanti, Purvamamsa, both these people accept postulation, arthapatti. Whereas logicians don't accept postulation. They say inference is postulation. Postulation is another kind of inference. What is postulation? There are two types of postulation. Drishtarthapatti, Shrutarthapatti. When you see somebody, he is fat and healthy, fat and fit, but still he is not eating anything in the morning. Therefore, you infer, you postulate that he is eating in the night. That is one arthapatti. The other arthapatti is you knock the door of some friend and that lady of the house who comes with all the auspicious signs, she says he is gone. You don't immediately say he died. You don't think he is died. Because one day yesterday evening I spoke to him, and just now somebody said I spoke with him. How can he die? Then you postulate that he has gone out for a walk, or he has gone already to that place wherever you plan to go. So, this is another kind of postulation. The logicians, they say this postulation is nothing but inference. So, either through postulation or through inference, you understand something which has some transformation, some action. Since the self does not have any action, ayam tu na vikarya, na vikriyavan, ataha na arthavattehe samanya drishtasya va vishaya ityata. Since the self is not associated with any action in itself, therefore it cannot be postulated or it cannot be inferred upon. Laukika shabdasyapi pratyakshadi purvakatva tannishedenaiva vichedha. And the words in the world, the words which we use in the world are also part of pratyaksha. Therefore, by negating pratyaksha, these words of the word means pot means is worldly word pot. You hear pot. Hearing is pratyaksha. Instead of understanding it to be pratyaksha, he sees it to be something else. That is the problem. The opponent wants to see it something else. It is pratyaksha. What is pratyaksha? Logician says, indriyartha sannikarshajanya jnanam. When the sense organ meets the sense object, that is pratyaksha. Now, sound hits your ear. Therefore, you understand the word pot. Therefore, it is pratyaksha. It is perception. By negating perception, this worldly knowledge is also negated. Okay, but Veda? No, Vedenaiva tatra chedyadi grahishyate ityatah. But Veda itself says the self can be cut. Veda itself can be says it the self can be cut. If you say uchyate, if you doubt like that, then we will say answer uchyate. What does that uchyate mean? Vedena sopakaranena chedya avyaktadi achedya avyaktadi rupa eva ayam uchyate tatparena prativadyate. Veda does not establish the self to be self can be cut, etc. because Veda itself very clearly says the self is achedya, it cannot be cut, and avyakta, it does not have any manifestation. Only things which have manifestation can be cut. Therefore, Veda very clearly establishes this is the purport of Vedas. Tatparyena pratipadyate. This is what the Vedas tatparya idea behind establishing the self is. When it establishes the self, it very clearly establishes it to be something which does not have any manifestation or something which cannot be cut. Atah na vedasya tat pratipadakasyapi chedyatwadi pratipadakaptam ityartha. Therefore, Veda and whatever Veda establishes, there also it cannot establish the self to be cut, etc. Vedas establish something, and based on Vedas explain something. In both the places, there can be no establishment of the self to be cut, etc. Atra nainam chindanti. You are repeating the same idea. First you said nainam chindanti shastrani. Then you said achedyoyam. Then you now say avyaktoyam. You are repeating the same idea. No, we are not repeating the same idea. For that he says, nainam chindanti ityatra shastradinam tannashaka samarthya bhava uktah. In nainam chindanti shastrani, it cannot be cut by the weapons, etc. is established. There is no capability for the weapons, etc. to cut the self is established. Achedyoyam ityadau tasya chedadi karmatva ayogattam uktam. In the achedyoyam, it is very clearly established the self does not have any association with the activities of cutting, etc. Then avyaktoyam ityatra tachedadi grahaka mana bhava uktah. With avyaktoyam, etc., there is no proof, valid proof to establish that the self can be cut, etc. is established. Iti aponarutyam drashtavyam. Therefore, there is no proof that we are repeating the same idea. Veda vinasham ityadinam tu shlokanam arthatah shabdatascha aponarutyam bhashyakritve pariyartam. Veda vinashanam nityam. In this place, there is repetition. If you say that repetition through words and repetition through ideas, there can be two types of repetition. Repetition, punarukti. There can be two types of punarukti repetition. One is a repetition of an idea. The other is a repetition of words. Now, both repetition of idea and repetition of words, both are negated by Bhagavan Bhashyakara himself. Therefore, I don't have to spend my time in this. Therefore, he is bringing the same Bhashya directly here. We will see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.